Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Joy. My name is Moni Rodriguez. I'm an author, speaker, and a coach, and I help women ignite their inner power so they can lead with more peace, passion, and joy. And I'm very excited today. Look what I have, an amazing book from my friend and dear person that I admire deeply, Dr. Viola Edward. Congratulations, first of all. And she is a psychotherapist, relationship coach, and breathwork therapist. She is much more than that because she is an author, speaker, and she's doing amazing work for many decades with women, men, helping people all over the world. And I'm very excited because I got this beautiful book, Who Makes the Bed, the latest book of hers. And when I started to read the book, I was like, I need to interview Viola. I need to have her on the show to talk about the book, but also about her personal story. And this book is not only about intimacy, because it says that it's 7 steps into nurturing intimacy beyond the myth. But it's beyond intimacy. It's beyond two people that come together. Before I ask Viola to introduce herself a bit more on her personal story, I want to start by reading the first page of the book, which is a phrase from Professor Ervin Laszlo, a dear friend of Viola as well, who was nominated twice for a Nobel Peace Prize. And he talks about this book in this way. He says that in an age of ceaseless and often chaotic and unforeseen change, a book on treasuring the closest relationship two human beings can ever have to each other. And I think this is beautiful. A book to keep by the side of a jointly made bed, to live by, to love by, and to share. And I think I want to share this book with the rest of people watching this. If you haven't read it, I really strongly recommend. And I deeply admire as well Viola for the way she lives her life and her beautiful relationship with her husband, who I look forward to meet someday. So Viola, welcome, very welcome here. So pleased to have you. I would love you to introduce a bit more of why are you so passionate about breathwork and intimacy, why you wrote this book, and what brought you to this place right here, right now in your life, how you end up doing so much amazing work in the world.
Yes, well, what brought me to this space of enlightenment, it was the endarkment where I was living in. As Dr. Lewis Cox said, don't think there is only enlightenment, there is also endarkment. And as we progress toward the enlightenment, sometimes we regress to the endarkment. For that, it's so good to have this tribe like you and me. We have peer groups, friends that can help us when we revisit, when we regress to such well-known places of endarkment. So what I can tell you is I think I was a very quiet and brave child because of the event of my life that were a little bit tragic. And but I always wanted to be a psychologist, a teacher, a traveler. And I think also I remember these days that I would study and study because the books will take me away of a very sad reality of losing my father and losing my first country and my second country and becoming an immigrant. But then, you know, in some moment also, what was my deepest, beautiful refuge, which was my school and the books, also that was gone because with the other immigration that we had, I had to start working. So that kind of shaped me because there is like, I think there is like second of like decision. I'm gonna go down, or I'm gonna hold on with something and get up, and it's like being like in a branch of a tree. And I think I get in that branch of the tree and I start doing homeschooling and keep reading books. And there were years that I just slept 3-4 hours because after the work and to works and spending a lot of time on the ways, I still had to breathe. And I think I never dreamt in being a writer myself. And anyway, nearby my 30s, I think the environment was a little bit too much. Even when I was functional, I was a successful marketing manager in an insurance company. They were like, you know how our life goes, like in parallel or two lines, that there were one part of me that I'm social and I'm working, I'm developing, but there were another part of me that I thought is like I could not hang on, and I start feeling the spiral pulling me down. And even when I start studying and doing a lot of group support in the 80s and study transactional analysis, anything, the day I become 30, I thought, I need to do something more. And that day I started my process as a patient in psychoanalysis, and stay there for the next 4 years. And then in that process, I discover breathwork, I discover meditation, and changed that way of receiving help by another way. And then breathwork was apart from the group work. And I really, you remind me a little bit of that time. I can see you, how you're working in yourself in so many fronts. And this is something that linked me to you. And you, many times you ask me, oh, thank you for keeping an eye. Thank you. But it's like my connection, my heart connects with you. I can feel it. And it's so beautiful what you're doing. So yeah, I did this. And then, you know, I start seeing real lights when the light comes, and not for some minutes or some hours. It's like light is there and it stay there, and there is more light and there is light. And there is that inner light that can expand. And even when you go to some places that are a little bit dark outside, then the inner light shines. And I would say it has been a journey, a beautiful journey. And by 34, then because I started my alternative education around 17, 18, then more seriously at 24. And then by 34, I was ready. And then I changed my career and start working with people, for people, while I'm keeping working with myself, because it's an ongoing work. But I would say I never again went back to that environment in that intensity. It has visited me time to time, but never again as I was. So this is a summary of my journey.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful because, yeah, it's true. And thank you so much, because I also see the reflection of someone who I admire so much, and the journey. It feels to me that, you know, sometimes we find this place of feeling that there is no light at the end of the tunnel, or why life is throwing so many changes in me, in my life environment, and you don't understand until you look back and see the changes were needed for you to step into your power and to your gifts and do the work that you came here to do. And then your book, actually, because I say you talk about intimacy, but I feel it's very much into intimacy with yourself as well. And you talk about bringing connecting with the gifts of that you have, you know. And I feel I would like to start by your natural gift, because I feel like when you mentioned about that at 34 you started to do that, I feel the work that your soul, or that you were meant to do in this world, which is now translated into many ways, not only the breath work, but working with as a relationship coach, talking about intimacy, being an example of that in your own marriage, but also speaking around the globe, opening the space of connection with other women. So how do you think is gonna help people to really know their purpose and working in their gifts to really attract that partnership that they seek? Because I feel there is a link there, right?
Yeah, I think what I felt, my own story is like the most important partnership that we have to do is with the self. I also was one of these women that in one hand I was saying, oh, I want a partner, I'm ready. But in the other one, I will do whatever is possible to take me away from that space. And also, and I remember one friend who will look at me and he said, well, how do you do to choose? You know, I remember once I told him, I'm going the weekend with so-and-so to that beach. And he said, but Viola, how did you do that? We were together in a embassy, in a party where there were at least 100 men. How did you do to choose that one? That is obviously not the man for you. It's obvious for me. How is it that it's not obvious for you? And I remember that conversation a lot. But this is what happened when we are in contradiction with the self, because we didn't partner with the self. Yeah. So I think the first part we need to do is when the communication with our left and right hemisphere is going more really a conversation, when we're not fighting with the self. And you know, you remember that, I'm sure all of you know, but let's remember it, that well-being is the alignment between what I dream, what I think, what I feel, what I wish, what I say, what I do, what I model. So when we are in those spaces of enlightenment, we dream something, we say something, we do something else, and we model something else. Yeah, and we speak something else. So the alignment between what I speak and what I speak and what I think, what I wish, what I think from all my body is not there. So I would say it's not about becoming perfect to have a partnership. Of course not. It's about being aware of how is my partnership with myself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And start working with it. Doesn't matter where you start. I have some friends and clients that they start from the physical side. It's okay. Some of them start by gym and by dieting, and that will take them to another place, and that will take them to the coach, and that will take them to the therapy, and you know, and they will fix some of their relation, and then they will be in meditation, and one day they will ask, what's the meaning of my life? What is it? Yeah. Some other people start by meditation, by asking those questions, thinking deep, where is my place in the world? And that will take them to the body, or to the relationship, to the connection, to the emotion, or you know, or to the mindset. So what is important is, I think we are like a beautiful tree, and we have different branches, and we have different roots, and you know, just it's like for me, there is no perfect. What there is my way, and my way sometimes is like, you know, and another way sometimes is a little bit more straight. So in the positive psychotherapy that I work with, there is one sentence that I heard in the first lecture I went, and that sentence made me take that master degree. And it was about everybody has their quality and their resources, their capabilities. When people come and enter my studio or my session room or my clinic or whoever you are, I know that they have survived without me. I know that because the word positive is coming from positive, that in Latin means what is given, what is there. All of us, we are given things by birth. Mm-hmm. And then those things develop, or our culture and our education, depend where we were, what life make of us, how our character develop. Yeah. So I'm telling you this because I'm gonna link it in how to build a vision and a purpose. We will start with what's given, what is there. So I would say that in the book there is a whole exercise, because this is interactive books. Because the first book I wrote in 1999, which was for development, and I added those chapters in this book, because in order to develop my relationship with the other one, I have to create and fix the relationship with the self. So you start saying, what what are my quality? What I'm given? Like you and me, we have this communication. Like you and me, when I'm in London and we go to have a tea together or have a meal together, our presence is so noticeable because we laugh loud, we hug, and then we start speaking with the one who's on the right, and then we hear somebody speaking in Spanish or with some accent. You and me are relational being, yeah? We are communicator.
Yes.
We are spontaneous. So obviously, those are things that are given to us. This is not because you are Spanish origin and I'm Middle Eastern origin. This is me.
Yes,
this is me. Maybe you have members of your family that are very introvert, very silent, you know. So, and the other thing, the fact that you and me, we have the same quality, doesn't mean that the two of us, we're going to do the same thing or we're going to have the same purpose. What it means that it depends in which area you have those qualities and what's the combination that we're going to do with our qualities, yes? For example, you and me, we have similar qualities, and you have another quality that I don't have. You have this physical energy, and then you have this love for nature, and you like to, you know, but this, for example, physically, I'm quite, this is one of my lowest quality, yes? So what happened, you and me, we have 2 or 3 qualities similar. We have in the same upper grade, but another quality, you have it up, I have it down, and vice versa. And that what makes us so unique. So if you follow the exercise, step by step, you will see why we're so similar, for that the humanity is one, but we are unique, and why it's so important to love and respect the other, but at the same time to really bow for the uniqueness.
Yes.
And honor it.
Yeah, I honor you. You know, very much, because that's so beautiful. That's will solve the world wars and all the fights that are going around when we accept each other, like you're saying, and you in your uniqueness are beautiful. I'm beautiful in my uniqueness, but we can coexist together and we can co-create things together. But in terms of a relationship, how important is to be aligned in the same qualities? Or do you think there is any secret sauce? Because I want the key for a long-lasting partnership. I'm talking about partnership because I've seen people like you and your husband, other marriages, and I'm not saying romanticizing in the sense that it's easy or perfect. It's about the consciously creation of a relationship that can be like that real partner that works with you and you work with that person. Is a companionship. And what is you will say, when we choose our partner, what we need to look at first of all, obviously, at healing our relationship with ourselves, having intimacy with ourselves. But then in terms of that characteristic that you mentioned, your essence, how do you make sure that the essence is like, you know, their compatibility? Because I think sometimes we don't think, we just go with the flow and the heart, and then we get disappointed because we don't know ourselves, and therefore we expect things from the other.
I think that's one of the problems, getting disappointed, because knowing is the flow, the heart is not the problem. You know, because there's somebody who said, we should fall in love. I mean, I fix it. It was not like this. But we should fall in love as many times as necessary until we get it right. And I changed it slightly. I said, we shall fall in love as many times as necessary, so we get it right, and that we know it when we rise in love, and we're not falling in love, we're rising.
I love the rise.
Yeah, so I would say I think one of the biggest problem is that many times we want this person to be the last person in my life. And I said, take it easy. Why? You know, you went out, you tried a relationship for 1 month, 2, or it didn't work. Bless them and let them go, you know, because sometimes really it doesn't work. I can see that as a relationship coach, that my duty, of course, is to do whatever is possible to help a relationship, to the life of the relationship. But sometimes you can see it like people try to stick themselves together. It doesn't work, and they've been years in pain, years in pain. And of course, there is time in life, children, sharing homes. There is time in life we just cannot just go. But I think before we go to that space, we knew, but we insisted, So first thing I would say, don't worry about trying it thousands times. If it needs thousands times, so I get it right. So why not? Just don't take that relationship to places with so much pain and anger and resentment that then we question if you have let go 2 years ago, if you have let go 2 months ago, if you have let go 5 years ago, and you just bless that person and let them go, because there's somebody out there that's gonna honor them, gonna love them, and the same thing with you. And the other thing I would say, I developed that. I think I don't have it in the book, but I developed that scheme.
Yes,
we can talk about it. So imagine 4 columns, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're asking what.
Yes.
So first, we have some variable that we have to have there, which is communication. This is love, of course. And love, will we define love? We cannot, because whatever love is for you, communication, effective communication, and healthy sexuality. Yeah. And then shared vision, and then understanding about our responsibilities and duties and sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment, some entertainment together. We don't have to be equal.
Mm.
So if we say we have certain clarity, but you would say that I don't have it very clear, that doesn't work. But if you already see that communication is not working, love is shaking, healthy sexuality is not there, that's going to be difficult. Yeah, of course, depend of the situation, the age, of course. Yeah, but if and these other two will sustain, we are aware of what's not working and we want to work on it, maybe we can go further. In order to go further, imagine now 4 columns. That is where many people get trapped there. Yeah. So the first one, make a list of all those daily issues that are annoying but not disastrous. Okay, these little things, whatever is little thing, but they are so frequent that they annoy you. But in reality, it's okay. Another column, you're gonna say those are the negotiable issues, and those negotiable issues are issues that cannot be changed. Could be age, could be places where we live, could be that the person already had children or not, or cannot have children, something that the person cannot change, race, etc. So those things, we will accept them or not accept them. If we don't accept them, we have to go. If we accept them, we shut up. We accept them, and this is the base of my relationship, and we don't bring it up. We don't say in an argument, and you're older than me, and I came here. No, those are the things that I accepted. I look at, they were difficult. It was not part of my dream, but I accept. Yeah. Okay, so we go to the third column, and we say non-negotiable issues. And those are the ones that I cannot not negotiate. Those usually are addictions, or heavy habit or addiction. Sometimes are maybe countries or religion or like that, or sometimes are marital status, like she or he is married and said, I can come and live with you, doesn't matter my divorce. Some people is negotiable. For some people, it's not negotiable. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the fourth column is the issue that we can work with. So you see, let's imagine I fall in love with somebody that he's addict and is for me alcoholic, and for me is non-negotiable. I've been there, you know, no, yeah. But let's imagine he said, I'm aware, thank you so much for being in my life. Please, 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 give me the time. I booked my rehab, I booked my therapy, I'm seeing a therapist, and I'm going day after tomorrow to a rehab, and please give me time, I'm gonna heal that. And that the person that feel that is my person, maybe I can, because of the commitment, real commitment, like I'm gonna deal with it, no, real commitment, like time, then we can make that non-negotiable in negotiable, because and we commit to work together. Yeah.
Yes.
So what happened when the things that are not negotiable, the person decide not to work with, we have to go, we have to leave. But many people are not ready to leave, so they don't talk about the non-negotiable issues. And then the daily issues, you didn't take your pajama, you didn't make the bed, they become the daily relationship, because they are ignoring what is it, the important, yeah?
Yes.
So I would say, to summarize, first, if you want a relationship, try as many times as possible, but enter to a relationship with open eyes. It's beautiful to enter with open eyes, as beautiful as making love with open. Yeah, it's beautiful, you know. And if you enter with open eyes, you can see, you can talk, you can negotiate, you can perceive, you can be the observer, you can stay, you can go, you know. And of course, if you are working in yourself and you heal your victimhood, it's not like, oh, again it happened to me. No, this relationship was so much better than the last one. I could not live with that imperfection, because at the end we live with the imperfection that we can live with, not with the imperfection that we cannot live with, that we cannot negotiate. Yeah. So I would say, did I answer your question?
Yes, a lot, because you were giving kind of us also secret sauce or secret key to actually understanding when to go and when to leave. But also I feel there is a word that keeps coming for me, is about commitment, because if both are committed to work on the issues, then you can make up what's real for you and what will bring that relationship that you are seeking. But sometimes it requires commitment into two people to really work on those negotiable or non-negotiable. And then I think what opened my eyes very much on this conversation is the fact that it's okay to keep your heart open and to I don't like the word trying, but into exploring. And I used to, I think one aspect I was healing in myself was the failure of my 2 marriages, because I was like, oh my God, you know, when is that ever going to happen for me, that I find the true partner that it really, you know, we are in sync and we are like a whole, and we are able to work together. But we romanticize the idea of love, but I think it's a lot about commitment with yourself and what really the values are to move forward with that person. And for me, for instance, you mentioned about your partner to be your business partner. Not necessarily need to be, but I think for me, as the kind of lifestyle I have and the passion and the mission, I think alignment for me is that finding that person that works by my side, but we are individuals and whole within ourselves.
You see, this is not alignment. This is one of your dreams, because the alignment is that you are in alignment.
Yes.
But you have a wish, you have a desire. And I tell you something, Moni, it's much easier to find a business partner than to find a loving partner. So if you have a loving partner that is functional, but is not functioning in business, it's not damaging your alignment. It's just that wish is not become true for this time, because there's something else better for him and better for you. So really, when people insist so much to work together, and it's like, you know, and then I remember so many of my teachers, I honor them and they are in my heart, but maybe so many teachers said the same. Remember, years and years ago, marriages were just like agreement that the parent will do for us to have more land or to have even food. And that get changed to another concept, and that get changed to you know, to create a family, and that get changed to be soulmate. And then now we don't want only, we want everything made, you know. We don't want only the soul. So and I think it was Barbara Hubert Marx who said, it's not about two half people that gonna make a whole. It's two whole people that gonna accompany each other in a journey, in a life together. And the work is not necessarily part of that, because if we go back to the purpose and you respect your qualities, the positum, and he or she respects theirs, and maybe it doesn't fit, but as people, as partner is excellent. So I think part of the respect is not to push so much to become to fit it in an ideal, because then it's an ideal, it's not real. And that's another thing that hurt us so much, because we are real, we become aligned and in a well-being, but not necessarily to fit in an ideal of, you know.
I love part of your book that is about joyful sailing, and I'm not a sailor. Maybe I will, because I love the sea, but so this is the concept, right, of how two people can joyfully sail in life and be not only good partners, it can be business partners, but also have intimacy. You talk about how breathing is going to help you develop intimacy. I would like, because most kind of also connection I do really have with your work is because of the breath work and how important it is for everything in life, because without breath we won't be in this world. And I think that's the first thing we do when we come to this world, and the first thing that actually when we leave the world, we give that last breath. So breath is life. So how breathing can really develop intimacy in a relationship? What would you say is the biggest advice or suggestion for two people to connect with that and create intimacy?
Yes, so it's Michael who's the sailor, and as a sailor, he knows that there is no flat sea or the journey. So there is many things, and the wisdom is how to deal, how to be, you know, how to be in that mindfulness presence and with the aligned to be able to deal with what is the event that we have to deal with in that moment in our sailing journey. Yes. So this is what we develop individually and together. And look, breath is, I would say, one of the most important things in life, if it's not the most. It's not like others are not important, but it's very, very important, because it's the thing that's going to accompany us along all our life. And whatever we do, being joyful or being sad, is going to affect our breath. So the breath is something that is all the time with us. Of course, somebody will say also your blood circulation and also your heart beating, of course. So for that is one of the most important ones. So when we understand the importance of the breath, and not just to live 10% or 15 or 8% of our capacity as we breathe, and we learn how to take time and inhale and exhale and put intention and attention, not only the attention in both intention, attention, the focus in what we're doing here and now. Like now you and me are here and nothing else. is happening for us. It's just us. So doesn't mean that we don't have a whole world in this moment happening. It's with all the respect for it, but in this moment we're present to each other. And I have to turn on the light because it took us a little bit of time to start, so it become dark. I'm in Cyprus and you're in UK, and I wanted to be outdoor. So so then we learn, first of all, to be conscious about the breathing and to introduce the breathing in different areas of our life. And then we learn, my work is to train breathwork coaches. So this training is 600 hours training that the first 200 hours we use to work in ourselves, be aware of our breath, learn how to use the breath to be healthier, to be more present, to be aware of our dynamic and our pathology. And also it helps us, the first level, how to be breathwork mentors, to mentor one-to-one client and create a new career. And then we have, they graduate and we work for, the student work for a while, and then they come back for another training that is how is the dynamic of how the group dynamic, and then another 200 hours to be able to do groups, and they work actively for 2 years and they come back if they want, and they train trainers. But coming back to your question, so imagine a healthy sexuality with the alignment with the breath work. Imagine a stress situation, like my program of stress, dealing with stress and dissolving stress is through the breath work. How? Because basically we said at the beginning, we need a good communication. And what happened in communication? That how is it? Somebody said, the longest distance between two people is the misunderstanding in communication. Yeah,
that's so beautiful. So, and
true. So when we get into those misunderstandings and we get heated and we shout or we cry, or imagine, instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, imagine if we breathe 20. Imagine if we breathe to 10. Because what is very important is when you are, look what happened. You have to imagine that when you're upset, you are seeing only one direction.
Yes. Yes.
And then you hold your breath, and when you breathe, you can see all the direction. It's como un abanico. Huh? Imagine imagine a fan that is closed, and imagine when the hand fan start opening, and each one of them is an option.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Action. So you become more of a proactive person than just reactive person. Yes. Reacting to the person, but actually reacting to your inner thoughts and the idea that you have about yourself, about the world, and about the others.
Yes.
So this is how conflicts start. Basically, I would say breathwork is the tool that we have that is for free, that's free, and that we can learn how to master, to be able to be a great communicator and communicator with self. And don't misunderstand me, we're not gonna solve it all. Maybe I didn't manage with that person, so I leave. But with no resentment, because we go into life, and in life there is so many events, and then maybe one of those events I couldn't go through. It's okay, it was not done, especially for me. The event was happening and I passed through there. It's like it's raining there and I went there and I get wet. So, I dance under the rain, or I
love that.
Go to a shelter.
Yes, it's a beautiful.
I know that you love me. Yes, I love you. So.
Yeah, so you were saying something very beautiful, so I got very excited because letting go of resentment, how much resentment we carry from past relationships, and especially for things that we did or not did, ourselves. And I think when you mentioned about the rain or dancing, is feeling like, okay, this is happening, but I can connect with what the here and the now and let go of that resentment. So what you say is that actually breath, when you take the time to breathe, and you obviously learn techniques like the ones you teach, or you support yourself with breathing, which is amazing. You say it's free. It's like love. All the best things in the world and the things that help people the most to themselves and others are free. And we forget about it. But in terms of resentment, I think this book talks a lot about pain and resentment. What did you learn?
Yeah, let me clarify something here. So let's imagine you had a pain or a resentment 10 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yes.
It was a breakup, it was with a friend, it was the way how one of the parents treat you, something happened in school. So when that happened, you hold your breath, yeah? And maybe you have an emotional tangling there. Mm-hmm. Let's imagine later on you learn different techniques and you think you healed it, but we will learn that the body, in that moment that you hold your breath, also that memory was held in some part of the body. And this is the root of the somatic therapy, because how to liberate the body from what the body is holding. Yeah, maybe I even don't remember what happened when I was 5, what happened when I was 10, or maybe because I'm in the spiritual path, I think I forgave that person. But every time I see somebody similar to her, or every time I hear her voice, then I feel like my breath, get interrupted or get obfuscated. So what the breathwork techniques, the breathwork modality or therapy is to be able to work in a holistic way, being able to liberate and reorder mindsets at the same time in the body from that memory, because it's a body technique. It's not only a mental technique. You're with me?
Yes.
And it's not only a heart wish. It's body. You're breathing. This is your body activity. Yeah. So in that way, is we do the breathing in certain technique, and then the other beautiful thing about that, because you know me, I like freedom, I like independence, is that after you do 10 sessions of this technique, you take it home, you can practice it for yourself.
That's amazing.
So this is what I'm doing all over the world, and coming to London and to Bristol soon for our next. Yes.
That's so amazing. And actually, yes, you are so right that because I've been working a lot on my we talk about light or enlightenment, but the darkness as well that we have, and most of those things from the past are sort of in the body as well, as you mentioned. And I never thought that about the concept that you say, that when something happened to us, we were holding our breath. But it really opened my eyes as well in some situations that I can recall that I've been healing, where actually it's true. In that moment on time, you are holding your breath. It's like when you are under constant stress, what you're doing is holding your breath. And most of the times we are not even giving thanks to our breathing or the way we are breathing. We don't bring that consciousness. And I believe that now that you say all these things, if we transform our breathing, then we can transform our life in many layers.
We can. And this is what happened to me when I was in my early 30s. I remember people seeing me in the street and they will not recognize me, just like that, until I would speak and call them, and it was a huge transformation for me.
Yes. So I could be talking with you hours and hours, because I love what you do, but you know how much I admire the work you do. But I think it's very important also, like for closing, obviously, as I said, I will put the links of your book, because I think it's really much more than intimacy. It's more also about connecting with yourself in alignment with. I love the concept that you mentioned about the vision is the divine. So there is beautiful also pictures here. Yeah, drawings. And then you talk about the divine is the vision, what we were mentioning. Then the essence, your essence is your mission and purpose. So when you align divine, so the vision, the mission, and then another thing that is very important and that I've been cultivating a lot for the last 2 years is this being grounded, right? Because you have your vision, you have your mission, but unless you bring grounding, which is action and plan and objective, things won't manifest in this world. So would you say that breathing also helps you to ground yourself? And what would you say that people can do to ground themselves and manifest this vision they have?
Yes. So it is said in the old scripture and in different languages that human being is the connection between heaven and earth.
Yes.
And we have so much of heaven as we have in our feet of earth. And to honor heaven and earth is to be aligned and to know, to find what is our vision. Basically, our mission or purpose is to give to life what life gave me. And my vision is to have more and best of whatever I really enjoy for myself and for my loved one, that in my case is the whole world. Huh?
Yes.
And so for that we work in a sustainable way, and then and all that could be sustained in our values and principle. And the majority of the conflict between people is when values are in contradiction, when people are saying something, doing something else, or when we're doing or saying something else. So when we learn and we understand what is it without shame. I mean, I have the right to say the thing I love the most is to sleep, is to eat, is to travel, is to shop, is to shopping, is to swim, whatever, to serve others. It's not framed or it's not condemned. It's whatever gives you the pleasure. And we talked before about what are my best qualities, and then you follow that exercise, but basically you join what are your best quality with your best pleasure of what you want in life, and you follow the exercise and you build a vision. First, your personal vision about, you visualize yourself in 5 years time or 3 years time. What is the best picture? If you would have all the colors to paint them, how would you paint your life? And you add those qualities that you have, that you're using them to make your work, your life functioning, and your life is embodying what you like the most. And then you add a little bit of what if you would have 1 hour free in a year that you will give to a service to serve the planet. Where would you do that? Will you do it, And then in a way, you're talking about yourself, you're talking about what you want, what's your perfect setting, and also what you're giving. And there is a little bit more of that. And you can also extract and ask yourself later on, once you have that picture drawn, you said, what is it that I have to do today to make me be there in 3 years time? So we build our action plans, when, how, where, it's all those techniques that we learn in so many places. But I think values are in our purpose. Values is very important. It's the core our vision and mission. So I remember drawing these, I don't know how to draw very well, but I drew something in a meeting. I remember very well. It was December 1993. And I was with a client that he was very, he told me, I'm pragmatic, I'm very logical. I came here because my wife insisted, but I have to tell you that I can do it. And then we were talking and I thought, let me do something to explain that. And he looked at me and he said, that came in very well. And then later we did it, we take it to different places, and nowadays I include it in my training. So, Moni, it's about how we can honor the earth, and how, because also for people like you and me, that we where or we are very connected with love and with spirituality. You know, I learned that if we're living in this level, in the earth, here, in that level, we also have to honor the level where we are living in. For that, we need to be grounded, but not fixed, not rigid, grounded.
Yeah.
Grounded with love, grounded with well-being, grounded with meaning. So grounded is not pushing everybody away. You know, we need to learn how to be grounded, you know, with big wings, but grounded, but not fixed. We can move, we can go wherever we want. We take our origin with us, you know. So there is much to talk about it.
I love it. I can see the way I'm grounding now is this picture that you mentioned about dancing under the rain, and I see myself very connected. I'm moving to the forest now. I'm moving away from London. I will be living very much connected to nature, but that's the message I was getting from Mother Nature as well, or Mother Earth, that actually grounding or this action doesn't need to be pushing. It can be flowing, like the dance. Yes. or you use color therapy as well a lot. So I think all these elements of bringing things from this earth, the colors, the air, grounding your feet in the soil, or having a nice bath, all these things grounds you. And sometimes in the past, I used to associate grounding with being practical, with being very focused, which is very required to do the work, but you can do it in a creative way rather than in a forcing, very patriarchy way, which is not working anymore in society, I think. And
it's not working for some people, but maybe some other people are grounding.
Yes.
Maybe some other, their grounding will be time to come. Maybe they've been in places that they cannot manage their own life, and maybe their grounding will be the city, will be a structure. So grounding is it's not generalized. It's very, it's very, very interesting. It's being balanced is to see in which unbalance I am. And if my unbalance was that I'm relational, but I've been living by myself, alone, far away. I'm not being able to do a living for myself. Maybe my grounding is different than your grounding.
That's a very good thing. Yeah, you're right. Well, there is no size fits all, right? So it doesn't work for everyone. Yeah.
No, it's depend. For that, it's so important to do the vision and the mission, to understand what is it that I want, what is it that I need, which area I can influence now in my life that is aligned with what I want, and what are the action that I have to do. And maybe the action is actually come back to the city and compromise in an area that I have at least one tree. I don't know. Yeah. But maybe where I am so far away is not helping me to be aligned with my deepest wish in heart. And there's another conversation about that. Many times we lived borrowed dreams. They are not ours. They were father, mother, sister, some boyfriend. I always give that joke about myself. I didn't know how to swim. And I used to say all the time, I want 1 year free to be sailing. I don't want to know how to swim. I am a city girl. And obviously that was not my real dream. Because I learned how to swim when I was 45 to be at ease in the sea. But for long years, I would say, in my, I will not call it ignorance, but in because I was located in a dream that was not mine. So that put me away from my own dream, and I will not achieve that dream. And if I will achieve it, I will be terrified of it. Yeah. So it's very important to do these exercises to see what is your real desire, what is real, and how much one is yours and is combined with your own quality, what is given to you, what's your resources, your capability, then you will be like me, that I'm living my dream. I'm living in my dream.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I think living your dream is the best thing. I always remember you mentioned Coelho in your book quite a lot. It's one of my favorite writers, and my quote of life is that it's the possibility to have a dream come true that makes life interesting. And I do believe that I always live my dreams, and I will achieve. Probably we are talking about relationships, so I think one of my dreams or my vision is to have that partnership, but obviously it starts with yourself and with your commitment, and with also being in alignment. It's interesting what you mentioned, because when you are out of balance, you need to align yourself, but it's understanding that sometimes what was serving you 5 years ago is not serving you now and today. So you might be out of alignment. So for me, I'm a city woman. I love London. That's why I want to be kind of near, but at the moment it's not serving me to be in a particular area. But it doesn't mean that I think it's just fine-tuning what resonates and what is in alignment, and recalibrate from what you mentioned, right? Like connecting into your vision. Your values are so important, and I think values, even if we evolve as human beings, there is a core value of your essence that remains. I don't know what you believe, but for me there's a core essence that will be always with you, and your essence is always, it has been always there. Maybe it was suppressed by the environment, by our beliefs, but once you tap into that, then you can align, and then you step into, now it's time to move here. I move. That's why I moved 10 times in 10 years, because
for that we review the vision.
Yeah.
The vision should be reviewed time to time. We say we don't do a sculpture of the vision. Vision is written. It's on the computer, but it's not like in stone that you cannot change. Because there is some element of it that will change, and we also respect that, and you will see how your values and your quality will serve also that change, because we are multidimensional people. Yes. We are multidimensional being, and we can move, we can dance with the changes. It's just as much as possible aligned to our deep and core needs and wanting. Sometimes what's necessary, maybe sometimes we have to do some moves, as it happened to us. It was not what we wanted, but it was what it was necessary for a time, because of another external threat or whatever.
Yes.
Sometimes go through,
Yes. I'm ready to dance with the changes.
I know that.
And I'm ready to make the bed as well, but I really want to finalize by you sharing some words of closure of where your vision is going now in the world, and any final words. And then obviously I will ask you to share how people can contact you and find out more about your work. I will put the links below on the book and other sites that you have. But if you want to close by sharing where the vision of Viola is going, and what's your vision for the world as well in the new era that we are living now.
Yeah, well, it's more and best. This is what I want, more of what I've been doing. So I've been already since 1993, it's like 18 countries, more or less, and around maybe 10,000 people. So more of those, and give my service in the different languages I speak and in different culture, and at service of humanity in a sustainable way, for women to really bring their inner value, their voice out, and understand. Not only, of course, I will always keep fighting for our right in the external world, but my work now is how to support women to go beyond and fight their inner laws, those laws who tell them they cannot. And this is what I think I'm doing now. And I always did, but now it's quite loud through my platform, the Feminine Capital Forum. And with men, I'm working a lot with men. I'm creating next program, maybe a platform to work with men, is that the world changed for you, my dear man, but not for worse. Actually, it's for different, for maybe for better, maybe extraordinary better. It's time to assume that change. It's time to get out of the, and that, that like being like, some of men are like surprised and stuck in that. And it's time to get out of the victimhood. Look what happened to us now. We have to share. And sharing is caring, is beautiful. So I am sure that deep inside you, men, you would be great. And there is a huge thing in the universe for all of us.
Yes.
So I want to work with men to be in touch with their vulnerability, accept the changes, do their best, and get out, for some of them, get out of that stagnation where they've been for many, many years. And also I'm going around the world, breathwork as a lead trainer, breathwork, doing it in my own program, helping other colleagues with their program to take breathwork to everywhere. So I have a program for breathwork for recovery. I have program, we have in the, there is an alliance, I'm part of International Breathwork Foundation. They are taking breathwork to schools in Venezuela, and in the 90s we had plans to take it to hospital. We did it to schools. There is so much to do. So I'm just 59 and a half, gonna be 60 next year in March.
Wow.
So that I have plenty of time, whatever that time is, and a lot to do. And with people like you as my friend, what else can I ask for? With my husband supporting me and loving me and supporting me and writing me poetry, and my sister now living with me, and she's great support, loving and work-wise. And with friends like you, what else?
Oh.
Seems like I have it all. Seems like I have it all.
Yeah, I think love and friendship is so important, and I feel so grateful that I met you that day in that hotel. Actually, I was thinking a lot about gratitude and the relationships in our life, and especially women that I'm attracting and I'm admiring so much, and how much we are all together, and at the same time doing so many different things in the world. And I'm so excited for what's coming in your next decade, because you say you're about to become like 60, but it looks like, for me, your spirit is of a young woman going everywhere. And one thing is about the passion that you have, because you can feel when people really cares about others. And that's why, you know who you are resonating with, because you can feel, yes, I am this person, but I'm here to serve, I'm here to give my work, and I love what I'm doing. And that's the kind of person you are, that you just love what you do and just give. You are a giver, and also that's why the world is gonna keep giving you back. And I hope to see your work evolving until, I don't know, I think we are lengthening our lives now, and I believe that we can, not eternal life, but we can reach hundreds if we keep doing the work that we are coming here, and if we are in alignment. I believe the universe is vast and support us, and sometimes we need to go through that darkness to go higher, right? And I learned that no matter what happens in your life, you can lead life with this joy, with this passion, and you are this living example of that. So I thank you very much for appearing in my life and for sharing so much.
You are a joy with this joy.
Yes.
Joyous conversation we just have. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I want you, I will put the links below, but can you tell people how to contact you if they want to look at your work and everything?
Yes, well, my website is www.violaedward.com. And my Facebook is Viola Edward Mentor. Edward is without S. Mm-hmm. And then Instagram and all the things that I'm actually learning how to use. It's not like, but I'm doing my best. I forget to mention my dyslexia. So dyslexia, we talk about it a lot because it interferes in many things that I'm doing.
Wow.
So, and then I'm going to send you the link for the Amazon to get the books. And I am in Bristol on the 8th. Shall I talk about that?
Yes, of course. Yes, please tell people.
Yeah, I'm having breathwork event in Bristol on the 8th and 9th of September.
Wow.
So you see that in the Facebook, and I'm coming to London in mid-October to do some breathwork too. And we have an event in Birmingham, Mind, Body, Spirit, 2, 3, and 4 of November, and my talk is on the 3rd, and it's about the alchemy of emotion through breathwork. And I have a talk in Birmingham on the 3rd at 12 noon time. So what else can I tell you? And I'm going to London every month, and also we have retreat and program in Cyprus, and so you can check all that in the Facebook and the website. And we have another program for breathwork in Belgium on the 26th of October. And there is so many things.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. So yeah, well, I think what I will do, obviously put the links below of your social media, but keep in mind the dates for September. I didn't know about the Mind, Body, Spirit in Birmingham. I'm looking forward to this. I think I want to be there because I'm all about alchemy. I call myself the Joy Alchemist, but I think it's so powerful to really connect with that alchemy of the emotions, and that's really transforming our emotions through breath. I think it's gonna be very powerful for the years to come.
And you can come if you want. You can come to 10 and 11. I am in another Mind, Body, Spirit in Cyprus. You will be welcome to me.
Oh, I would love to go.
I didn't talk here much about my Arabic origin, so I've been looking forward to go back to Arabic world, and so I'm invited as part of the delegation of the AU Arab Summit in Athens. So finally, I've been trying for 2 years to see where I'm gonna be called for, because I want to honor that part of myself too. And then we're going to Madrid in early October.
Everywhere, and Amsterdam, you are all over the world. I love it.
Each other in Amsterdam, yes, because we have Moni and me, hablamos en español, and we have this, we are, our mother tongue is Spanish.
Yes.
So we have an event in Amsterdam on the 20th of October, which is which is seminars for a Hispanic entrepreneur. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
So a lot to do. Yes.
A lot. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about all your events and things happening. And I will put the links below. And what to say, thank you so much for being here.
And both of us, we are nominees for an award.
Yes.
We are meeting you and me on the 5th of September in London.
Oh, are you going there? Cool. So yeah. I will see you there in person.
Then we have the big party on the 3rd of December. We're going to be. So we're going to see you.
Oh, yes. I love it. So I really thank you for being here, for doing so many amazing things, traveling the world as you are doing. That's where I see myself evolving as well, spreading the work when we are needed. I think now it's time for you to keep back into your roots, go back into your roots as well of the Arabic, and bring that work into those countries as well, which is really needed, I think. And that's so beautiful that we are able to navigate and sail the world and bring our gift, and that's why you are attracting all these amazing opportunities, I think. And that's a vision of how we can attract that relationship as well, or the intimacy starts with us. It starts with doing what we came here to do in the world, and then the rest obviously is about the commitment and love and also being present all the time in our life, so we can breathe through the changes and embrace life as it comes. So thank you so much, Viola, for bringing so amazing things in the world and for spending some time with us tonight.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
See you.